Welcome, you incredible learners and curious minds, to another fascinating deep dive. Today, we're embarking on an extraordinary journey into the life and empire of one of the most recognizable and, most impactful figures of the digital age.
Mhm.
We're talking about Mark Zuckerberg, the architect of Facebook, and, well, the visionary steering Meta platforms into an ambitious and sometimes, let's be honest, controversial future.
It really is a story brimming with the kind of innovation that fundamentally reshaped global communication.
Yeah.
You see the ambition that propelled a dorm room idea into this massive multi-billion-dollar corporation. And as we'll definitely get into, significant challenges and ethical quandaries that have continually tested the boundaries of technology and society.
Right.
So our mission today is really to unpack the pivotal moments in Zuckerberg's entrepreneurial voyage. We'll go from the earliest sparks of his ideas back at Harvard all the way to the global impact of Facebook and its pretty radical evolution into Meta. We'll be looking at the rich sources you've provided, historical timelines, detailed accounts of key controversies, analyses of strategic pivots, just to really get a handle on the trajectory of this digital titan.
That's right. We'll be extracting the most important nuggets of knowledge, diving into some surprising facts, and hopefully giving you that shortcut to being truly well-informed about the man behind the social network that, connected billions. You'll hear about his formative early creations, the founding of Facebook, its meteoric rise, the controversies that shaped its path, and frankly forced major policy shifts.
Big shifts.
And the profound lessons we can all take from this extraordinary entrepreneurial saga. It's a story of relentless building, constant adaptation, and navigating storms that, quite honestly, would capsize lesser ventures.
Yeah.
Okay, let's unpack this. 1, Mark Zuckerberg's early drive, the seeds of connection. So when we talk about figures like Mark Zuckerberg, you often wonder what it really takes to get into a place like Harvard, let alone launch a world-changing company from, like, a dorm room.
Right.
The sources really paint a picture of Zuckerberg as, well, far more than just a prodigy. He demonstrated exceptional ability, sure, but also this deep, almost obsessive passion for computer science.
Yeah.
He wasn't just tinkering with theoretical concepts. He was actively creating tangible products, building things from the ground up. It wasn't just about having an interest. It was about doing it with this almost singular focus, producing something concrete that showcased his mastery, that intense drive to build, to create, that seems really key to understanding his early trajectory.
Precisely. And his academic profile wasn't just limited to his prowess in computer science either. That's kind of interesting.
Oh, yeah.
The sources highlight an impressive academic record in non-STEM fields too, particularly classical languages. Now, that speaks to a broad intellectual curiosity, maybe a capacity for deep, structured thought.
Huh. Classics. Didn't know that.
Yeah, it's not just some quirky detail on his transcript. It kind of indicates his intelligence wasn't narrowly focused only on coding. It suggests it wasn't just about raw talent, but also this drive to deepen interests, to challenge himself across different disciplines, and ultimately to extend his cognitive capabilities.
Right.
This sort of comprehensive approach to learning, problem-solving, critical thinking, it's often a hallmark of truly innovative minds, suggests a facility for understanding complex systems, whether that's ancient languages or, well, social networks.
So before the Facebook even existed, there's this fascinating and kind of infamous chapter in Zuckerberg's early Harvard days, Face Mash. What was that all about?
Right, Face Mash, indeed. This earlier creation, launched back in October 2003, it offers a truly fascinating, if yet controversial, glimpse into Zuckerberg's early style and the kinds of ideas that were sparking interest and often contention on campus. It's really a crucial stepping stone to understanding how Facebook eventually came about.
Face Mash was basically a website, right? Allowed users to compare photos of 2 randomly selected students pulled from Harvard's online student directories, apparently, and then vote on who was hotter. I mean, it sounds incredibly provocative even for back then, almost designed to stir up immediate reactions. You can just imagine the stir it must have caused across campus, sparking conversations and undoubtedly some outrage.
Absolutely. It was, just as you described, problematic right from the start and, as you might expect, incredibly short-lived. Harvard executives moved fast. They shut it down just days after its October 28, 2003 launch.
Wow, just days.
Yeah. And Zuckerberg faced serious, potentially career-ending charges for what he did, breach of security, copyright violation for using photos without permission, and privacy infringement. He even faced possible expulsion from Harvard.
Expulsion, that's huge.
Monumental
Okay.
setback, right, especially for someone with his ambitions. However, those charges were eventually dropped. That allowed him to continue his academic and, well, as history shows, his entrepreneurial journey. This early brush with severe institutional disapproval, legal threats, it probably shaped his understanding of boundaries or perhaps the consequences of pushing them.
But this brief controversial experiment, despite the backlash and all the ethical red flags, it offered a crucial insight, didn't it? It seems like it was a very potent learning moment for him, even if it was negative.
It absolutely did.
Yeah.
The surprising and frankly runaway popularity of FaceMash, despite its ethical and legal issues, it served as this stark, undeniable data point. It made Zuckerberg realize the immense untapped potential for a campus-wide social network. He saw a clear, almost visceral demand among students for connecting online, for a platform to express themselves and interact, even if the initial execution FaceMash was deeply flawed and ethically questionable.
Right.
This raw data point, the rapid engagement, the viral spread, it provided the undeniable spark for what would very quickly become Facebook. It's kind of a prime example of identifying an underlying human need, for connection and social validation, even if the first attempt to meet it is problematic and needs significant refinement. It showed him people craved a digital mirror of their social lives, to the birth of the Facebook, from dorm room to digital frontier, 2004, 2005.
So inspired by the concept of physical student directories, those actual paper Facebooks universities used to hand out.
Yeah, I remember those.
Right. To help students get to know each other, Zuckerberg launched the Facebook on February 4th, 2004, straight from his Harvard dorm room. His stated aim was incredibly clear, compelling. Connect university students online, fulfill a social need the university hadn't really addressed. And he wasn't shy about it either. Famously told the Crimson, the student paper, that he believed he could build it better and faster than the university could, positioning himself as a disruptor right from day one.
And the response wasn't just immediate, it was overwhelming, powerfully validating his intuition and those audacious claims. His roommate and early collaborator, Dustin Moskovitz, vividly recalled watching the registration process unfold in real time.
Oh, wow.
Within the first 24 hours, an incredible 1,200 to 1,500 registrants had signed up. This rapid, almost viral adoption wasn't just a sign of a good idea. It proved the concept's profound viability. It tapped into a genuine hunger among students for something like this. It showed he hadn't just identified a need, he'd created a product that resonated deeply with how young people wanted to interact digitally.
He wasn't alone in this, though, right? The popular story often focuses just on Zuckerberg, but the sources are pretty clear it was a team effort from the start. Who else was involved?
That's absolutely right. While he often gets the singular credit, especially in movies and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
The official launch included fellow Harvard students, Eduardo Saverin, Dustin Moskovitz, Andrew McCollum, and Chris Hughes as integral co-founders. Each played a vital role in those early stages, contributing different things to the platform's development and rollout. And then, a few months later, July 2004, Sean Parker, already kind of famous or infamous for his Napster days, joined as president.
Sean Parker. Okay.
Parker brought invaluable experience, a seasoned understanding of the digital startup world. He lent this crucial sense of direction and strategic vision to the rapidly growing but still very young company. It highlights that early understanding that building something significant, scalable, it requires a diverse team, not just one brilliant mind.
But just 6 short days after launching the Facebook, a major challenge popped up. Almost derailed the whole thing before it even got going.
Right. 3 Harvard seniors, Cameron Winklevoss, Tyler Winklevoss, and Divya Narendra, accused Zuckerberg of stealing their idea for a social network they called HarvardConnection.com. This wasn't just a small tip. This was a direct, immediate legal threat, casting a shadow over Facebook's very beginning. Yeah, that accusation put Zuckerberg's reputation and the future of his brand new company on the line at an incredibly vulnerable moment. And the way he handled it, it's quite telling about his aggressive, maybe even ruthless, approach to protecting his creation.
How so?
Well, the sources describe how, amidst this brewing storm, he actually used the Facebook.com itself to investigate members of the Crimson newspaper who were looking into the allegations against him.
Wait, he used Facebook to investigate the reporters?
Yeah. He even went so far as to examine failed logins and attempt to access their Harvard email accounts, succeeding in a couple of cases.
Whoa.
It demonstrates this audacious willingness to take aggressive, almost combative action to protect his company. Though obviously, it also raised immediate ethical questions about privacy and data access, kind of foreshadowing future controversies that would dog Facebook for years.
So what happened with that lawsuit? How did that intense early legal battle end for the young company?
Well, the dispute inevitably led to a prolonged, pretty contentious lawsuit, a huge distraction for a young company needing to focus on growth. Facebook eventually settled it in June 2008.
Okay.
The settlement was complex, involved both cash and shares. It effectively valued the Winklevosses Connect to You at around $45 million, based on a staggering $15 billion valuation for Facebook at the time.
15 billion already.
Yeah.
Wow.
And in a truly fascinating kind of ironic twist, Facebook actually acquired Connect You as part of the settlement, essentially bought out its rival, buried the hatchet.
Huh. So they ended up owning the thing they were accused of stealing from.
Pretty much. It was a critical early test of Zuckerberg's resilience and legal strategy. Showed a pattern of using acquisitions not just for growth, but also maybe to resolve conflicts and consolidate power, effectively removing potential threats, demonstrated his fierce determination to control the narrative and the market.
Then in 2005, the company made what seems like a small change, but it was probably pretty significant, dropping the "the" from its name. They bought the domain, facebook.com, for what, $200,000?
That's right, 200,000.
Seems like a lot back then for just a domain name. But dropping the, it signaled a broader, more universal ambition, right? Beyond just university networks. It was like a move to become the Facebook, not just a Facebook for college kids,
Yeah.
asserting its claim.
Absolutely. And crucially, this period also saw significant early investments that really validated the company's potential and fueled its rapid expansion. Peter Thiel, the PayPal co-founder,
Right.
provided the very first funding, $500,000 in June 2004, an initial leap of faith that turned out incredibly well for him.
Who kidding?
Then, May 2005, Excel Partners, a big VC firm, invested a substantial $13 million. Jim Breyer added another $1 million of his own money. This round valued Facebook at $98 million. Remarkable for such a young company.
Almost 100 million just over a year in.
Yeah. The board also expanded to bring in these new influential investors, but 2 seats remained open for Zuckerberg to nominate. This showed his continued control, his steadfast vision for the company's direction, even as external money poured in. These financial milestones were absolutely vital for fueling its next explosive phase of growth and solidifying its position. 3. Facebook's ascendance. Growth, innovation, and expanding horizons, 2005-2012.
So after its Harvard start, Facebook quickly moved beyond campus walls. Clear strategy for widespread adoption, right? By September 2005, they launched a high school version, opening up this massive new demographic.
Huge potential there.
Then eligibility expanded even further to employees of major companies like Apple and Microsoft. It was a clear, deliberate strategy, broaden the reach beyond education, establish it as the social platform for everyone.
And the numbers backed it up. By December 2004, Facebook already hit 1 million registered users.
Yeah.
Just astounding growth in mere months.
1 million, wow.
Yeah, this early rapid adoption was critical.
Yeah.
Showed that powerful network effect. To keep these users engaged, make the platform more interactive, more personal, they were constantly iterating on features. Like they introduced photos with tagging in late 2005. That became incredibly popular.
Oh yeah, tagging was huge.
Huge. It let users not just share images, but create this shared visual history, linking people directly within memories. Dramatically increased the stickiness, the personal relevance of the platform.
But if we're talking about game changers, the news feed launched September 2006. That really redefined the Facebook experience, didn't it? Fundamentally altered how people used it, moved beyond static profiles to this dynamic stream.
Absolutely. Newsfeed was a profound innovation. It was this algorithmically generated, constantly refreshing summary of friends' activities, photos, status updates, comments, shared links, everything.
Right.
It was a relatively new concept then. Twitter had launched just months before with its chronological feed, but Facebook's newsfeed quickly became central to its identity. This feature was instrumental in dramatically increasing user engagement, the stickiness, by keeping users updated on everything happening in their network without needing to click through profiles one by one.
Yeah, you didn't have to hunt for updates anymore.
Exactly. It transformed Facebook from a directory into this vibrant, dynamic, personalized stream, almost a digital pulse of your social world. It encouraged users to return again and again throughout the day. It became the central hub of their online lives for many people.
And recognizing the future was mobile, Facebook launched mmfacebook.com for mobile support in January 2007. Pretty prescient move as smartphones were just starting to take off.
Very much so.
But even more profoundly, they opened up the platform, invited developers to build on their ecosystem. That seems like a massive strategic decision.
Yes. The Facebook platform, announced May 2007, That was truly groundbreaking. It let third-party developers build applications directly on top of Facebook's social graph.
Okay, social graph. Explain that quickly for listeners.
Sure, the social graph is essentially Facebook's huge, intricate map of all the connections between people, their interests, their interactions, the relationships they share on the platform. By opening that up,
Right.
Facebook allowed developers to tap directly into its existing network effect. This fueled immense innovation. Think games like Farmville, various productivity tools, social utilities. This ecosystem integrated Facebook deeply into users' digital lives in new, pervasive ways. Made it far more than just a social network, more like a foundational layer for countless online experiences. It was a powerful strategy for both growth and diversification, basically leveraging the creativity of the whole developer community.
But not all these early initiatives were smooth sailing. Facebook Beacon, launched November 2007, caused quite a stir, didn't it? Pushed the boundaries of user privacy in a way that really rubbed people the wrong way.
Beacon was indeed a major misstep, a crucial early lesson for Facebook in that delicate balance between innovation and user trust. It was a targeted ad system designed to automatically publish users' activities on external partner websites, like if you bought something directly to their news feed, often without explicit permission.
Wait, so if I bought movie tickets, my friends would see it on Facebook automatically?
Potentially, yes, if it was a partner site, sometimes without your active consent or even awareness. This generated immediate, significant privacy concerns, widespread outrage, even a class action lawsuit.
Oof.
Yeah. Facebook eventually discontinued Beacon in November 2009, a clear demonstration of an early, painful lesson in responding to user privacy complaints and adapting its product strategy under intense public and legal pressure. It showed that even seemingly innovative ideas could backfire dramatically if they didn't respect user boundaries and privacy expectations.
So beyond organic growth and their own features, Facebook also started acquiring companies aggressively, expanding reach, cementing its position, a crucial and often very expensive part of their strategy for dominance.
Indeed. And these strategic acquisitions were often prescient, profoundly impactful. Significant early buys included FriendFeed in August 2009, helped refine their social sharing. Then, perhaps most famously, they acquired the then pretty small photo-sharing service Instagram
Ah, yes, Instagram.
for a staggering $1 billion in April 2012, a move many people questioned at the time thought was crazy expensive.
I remember that. People thought they overpaid massively.
Massively, but it proved incredibly far-sighted. Later, they'd acquire the messaging giant WhatsApp for an even more astounding $16 billion in February 2014.
16 billion.
Yeah, these strategic moves weren't just about expanding Facebook's portfolio. They were about cementing dominance across critical aspects of social interaction, visual sharing, messaging, often eliminating potential competitors before they could really threaten Facebook's core business.
And financially, the company saw huge investments before the IPO, right? Showing growing confidence from big players, setting incredible valuation benchmarks.
Yes. Microsoft, already a tech giant, took a 1.6% stake for $240 million back in October 2007.
Right.
Now, that investment implied a hefty $15 billion valuation for Facebook then, although the value was a bit disputed because it included an ad exclusivity deal.
Right, so maybe not a pure valuation.
Kind of complicated.
Yeah.
Then in 2009, Yuri Milner's DST, along with Alisher Usmanov, invested $200 million when the company was valued at $10 billion.
Okay.
A significant detail emerged later, in 2017 actually, that Russian state-backed financing from VTB Bank and Gazprom's investment vehicle had partially funded those 2009 investments. Though Milner reportedly said he wasn't aware of the ultimate source.
Huh. Interesting wrinkle.
Yeah. By 2011, Facebook's valuation had soared to an astonishing $50 billion after another $500 million investment. Really set the stage for its highly anticipated and, as it turned out, pretty tumultuous IPO.
The initial public offering, May 2012, a truly monumental event, a global spectacle, valued the company at an unprecedented $104 billion, the largest valuation ever at the time for a newly listed public company, a real moment in financial history, symbolizing the immense power of social media.
It was huge. However, the IPO itself was far from the smooth, triumphant debut many expected. It was plagued by immediate struggles, controversies. Trading got delayed because of significant technical problems on NASDAQ, caused immense frustration.
I remember hearing about that, yeah. Chaos.
Total chaos. Furthermore, the stock struggled dramatically to stay above its $38 IPO price. It closed barely higher at $38.23 on day one, and then declined sharply by 16.5% by the end of its first week. Definitely not the soaring launch anyone expected from such a hyped offering.
And this rocky start quickly led to more legal trouble, didn't it? Seems like going public came with immediate, significant headaches for Facebook.
It absolutely did. Wall Street regulators immediately launched investigations. Were the underwriting banks improperly sharing key info only with select big institutional clients, not the general public, creating an unfair advantage? This quickly spiraled into several high-profile lawsuits, including a class action suit claiming over $2.5 billion in losses for investors. Bloomberg specifically estimated that retail investors, the smaller guys,
Yeah, regular people.
lost about $630 million on Facebook stock right after its debut. This marked an incredibly challenging, legally fraught period for the company's public debut, highlighted the complex legal and regulatory minefield that comes with operating at that unprecedented scale and valuation. A real baptism by fire on the public markets. Navigating the storm. Controversies and challenges, 2013-2020.
So even with this immense success, global reach, Facebook, as it grew into this behemoth, was constantly navigating huge controversies. The sources really highlight these recurring, deeply troubling issues: user privacy, constant criticism of data collection, the rampant spread of misinformation, hate speech, and its undeniable, often problematic influence on political outcomes all over the world. These weren't just isolated incidents, right? They were persistent, systemic challenges defining much of the company's second decade.
Indeed. And these issues prompted continuous, often really heated debates about content moderation, platform responsibility, and just the broader, often uncomfortable role of social media in society today.
Yeah.
Facebook frequently updated its algorithms, trying to balance user experience with its engagement-driven revenue model. But these changes sometimes inadvertently amplified divisive or harmful content, leading to more criticism or ethical dilemmas. The platform's dual nature is incredibly evident here. It's been a powerful tool for social good organizing movements like the Arab Spring, for example.
Sure.
But it has also, very controversially, been implicated in facilitating tragic events like the Rohingya genocide in Myanmar. It's a powerful, complex tool with both positive and deeply negative consequences.
Okay, let's dive into perhaps one of Facebook's biggest crises, one that truly thrust its data practices and ethical responsibilities into the global spotlight. The Cambridge Analytica scandal. March 2018, explosive information drops from Christopher Wiley, a former employee, talking to The Guardian and The New York Times, unleashed an absolute firestorm.
The revelation was truly shocking. Sent shockwaves across tech, politics everywhere. This British political consulting firm, Cambridge Analytica, had harvested personal information from initially thought 50 million, later confirmed 87 million Facebook profiles without authorization.
87 million.
Wow, staggering number. This illicit data collection happened back in early 2014 and is allegedly used to build these sophisticated systems to profile individual voters, primarily in the U.S., and then target them with highly personalized, often emotionally charged political ads, potentially influencing elections. It was a clear, undeniable breach of trust and privacy on an unprecedented scale.
Okay.
Exposed just how vulnerable user data was.
What was the immediate fallout for Facebook and Zuckerberg when this news broke? Must have been absolutely devastating for the company, its image.
Colossal immediate impact. Over $100 billion wiped off Facebook's market cap in just days. Huge investor concern, crisis of confidence, massive public outcry, leading to the viral #DeleteFacebook movement. Gained significant traction globally. Countless users deactivated their accounts in protest.
I remember that hashtag everywhere.
Yeah. Politicians in the U.S., UK immediately demanded answers from Zuckerberg. Immense pressure on him and the company to explain themselves, take responsibility. The crisis escalated incredibly quickly. Became a defining moment for the company's relationship with users and regulators.
And this pressure directly led to Zuckerberg's highly anticipated testimony before Congress. A moment millions watched live around the world. Felt like the whole world was watching.
Yes. Mark Zuckerberg testified in April 2018, faced almost 10 hours of intense questioning over 2 grueling days from senators' representatives. He publicly apologized for Facebook's role, stating memorably, "We have a responsibility to protect your data, and if we can't, then we don't deserve to serve you." He promised significant privacy reforms, tighter data policies to prevent future breaches. However, it's worth noting, he initially kind of pushed back against suggestions that users lack sufficient control over their data. That drew further scrutiny, highlighted a fundamental disconnect between Facebook's internal view and public expectation. It was a defining, very public moment for him and the company. Showcased his resilience, but also the immense pressure he was under.
How did governments and other entities ultimately respond? What were the tangible punitive consequences for the company? Fines, regulations?
Consequences were substantial, unprecedented, really.
Mm.
In July 2019, Facebook was fined a staggering $5 billion by the Federal Trade Commission, FTC, for privacy violations. Record-breaking penalty. Sent a clear message.
5 billion.
Yeah. In October 2019, they agreed to pay a £500,000 fine to the UK Information Commissioner's Office for exposing user data to a serious risk of harm. The SEC also fined Facebook $100 million for misleading investors about the risks of user data misuse related to the scandal. Cambridge Analytica itself couldn't weather the storm. Filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy in May 2018. The scandal led to significant financial and reputational damage for Facebook, forcing a fundamental reassessment of its data practices.
Now, it's important to understand using data in political campaigns wasn't totally new, right? There's a nuance here that's key to understanding the specific outrage around Cambridge Analytica.
That's an absolutely essential distinction. Mark Jameson, an expert who testified before Congress, he reiterated it wasn't unusual for campaigns like Obama's or George W. Bush's to use data to profile voters, do micro-targeting.
Okay.
However, Jameson specifically criticized Facebook for not being clear and candid with its users about the extent of data use, especially by third parties like Cambridge Analytica. PolitiFact also compared their methods to Obama's 2012 campaign, noting a crucial ethical difference. Obama's campaign used data to get supporters to contact their own friends, leveraging existing social ties.
Okay. Different approach.
Right. Rather than for highly targeted, potentially manipulative digital ads on platforms like Facebook, which was Cambridge Analytica's alleged approach. So it was less about if data was used and more about the transparency, the specific methods, and the perceived ethical lines that were crossed.
The sources also mention other alleged uses of Cambridge Analytica services and this wider call for more transparency around data usage in general.
Yes, the ripple effects were far-reaching. Allegations of Cambridge Analytica's involvement popped up in relation to the Ted Cruz campaign, the Trump campaign, even elections in Trinidad and Tobago, showed its global footprint. There are also concerns about connections with the Russian oil company Lukoil. Christopher Wiley later confirmed they were interested in political targeting data, adding another layer of geopolitical complexity. In the UK, while Cambridge Analytica did work for Leave.eu during Brexit, an official probe found no evidence it misused data to influence the outcome there. In response to broader concerns, campaigner Brittany Kaiser, another former employee, launched the hashtag #OwnYourData initiative and the Own Your Data Foundation. These efforts advocated for increased transparency, more user control over their data, framing it as users' assets, their property, a direct legacy of the scandal's revelations.
So Cambridge Analytica was massive, but Facebook kept grappling with other content issues too, severely challenged their moderation capabilities, highlighted their profound impact on society, this constant ethical tightrope walk.
Yes. March 2019, Facebook faced severe, renewed criticism after the horrific Christchurch mosque shooter live-streamed his attack on the platform.
Oh, that was horrifying.
Horrifying. It took Facebook an alarming 29 minutes to detect the live video. Disturbingly, that was 8 minutes longer than it took police to arrest the gunman. Despite blocking 1.3 million copies, an estimated 300,000 were still published and shared before being fully removed. Led to widespread condemnation, urgent calls for better content moderation. Following this, Facebook announced a significant policy shift, blocking white nationalist, white supremacist, and white separatist content, stating they couldn't be meaningfully separated, posed a threat, a departure from their previous more nuanced approach.
And there were instances of the platform being controversially used in other global events too, right? Really powerfully highlighting its dual nature, the immense, sometimes destructive power it held.
Indeed. The sources mention a radical Islamist imam linked to the 2019 Sri Lanka Easter bombings preaching on a pro-ISIL Facebook account. Shows how extremist groups could leverage the platform. Additionally, Facebook's been widely accused of influencing political outcomes, even facilitating violence in other contexts. Most notably, its controversial impact on the Rohingya genocide in Myanmar, where the platform was allegedly used to spread hate speech and incitement.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Terrible. More recently, 2021, accusations of Facebook removing and shadow banning content related to Indian farmer protests against the Modi government. These instances just underscore the pervasive influence of the platform and the constant, difficult, ethical tightrope it faces regarding content moderation, free speech, its role in global events, often caught between competing interests and deeply entrenched conflicts. 5. the meta era. Reimagining the future, 2021 present.
Then October 2021, a truly monumental shift. Facebook Inc. changes its company name to Meta Platforms. Inc. Just Meta. This was clearly more than just a cosmetic name change, wasn't it? Signaled a profound strategic pivot, redirected the whole company's focus.
It was indeed a strategic reorientation of epic proportions. It signaled this major long-term shift in focus towards building what Zuckerberg termed the metaverse.
The metaverse, right.
A persistent, immersive, virtual shared space where people could interact, work, play in ways that transcend physical presence. Zuckerberg's vision was incredibly ambitious. A fully embodied virtual world, the successor to the mobile internet eventually.
Big vision.
Huge vision. However, early user experiences were often described as, well, disappointing, kind of clunky. Critics quickly noted similarities to 90s virtual worlds like Second Life, suggested the concept wasn't entirely novel or immediately captivating to a mass audience, highlighted the significant challenge of realizing such a grand, technologically complex vision and convincing the world to actually embrace it.
And this ambitious commitment to building the metaverse came with significant financial implications, right? Creating a whole new virtual world, all the hardware, software, that's incredibly costly.
It certainly was and continues to be. Meta sustained truly substantial losses, $13.7 billion through October 2022, specifically on metaverse development, attributing these massive losses largely to low user engagement and the sheer cost of R&D.
$13.7 billion in losses. Ouch.
Yeah. Despite this, Zuckerberg remained publicly steadfastly committed, emphasizing a long-term investment horizon, like 10-15 years for the metaverse to fully materialize, demonstrated his willingness to make massive generational bets on future tech, even facing immediate financial setbacks, widespread skepticism from investors, questions about the immediate utility and appeal. It's a classic Zuckerberg move. Commit deeply to a long-term vision, regardless of short-term pain.
But even as this grand metaverse vision was taking shape, Facebook, now under the Meta umbrella, kept evolving its core products and policies, showed they weren't just abandoning their existing users or those hugely popular legacy platforms.
That's right. Even before the full Meta rebrand at the F8 conference, May 2019, the company announced a new vision. The tagline was, "The future is private," a clear response to years of privacy scandals.
Ah, okay. Shift in messaging.
Definitely. This included a significant redesign of the Facebook app, dubbed FB5. Ambitious plans for improving groups, the introduction of a dating platform, a bold commitment to end-to-end encryption across its platforms, and the long-term ambition for seamless cross-platform communication between Messenger, WhatsApp, and Instagram. These were significant updates aimed at enhancing user experience and, crucially, rebuilding trust by focusing on more private, secure interactions, even as the larger metaverse vision was simmering.
They also implemented significant policy changes around data too, right? Directly addressing years of intense scrutiny, those privacy concerns that had plagued them.
Indeed. November 2021, Facebook announced a landmark policy shift, stating it would stop targeting ads based on sensitive data categories related to health, race, ethnicity, political beliefs, religion, sexual orientation across all Meta apps.
That's big.
It's notable, widely welcomed move. Address long-standing privacy concerns, criticisms about discriminatory data use in ads. Also, after years of intense scrutiny, public debate, Facebook announced November 2021 it would shut down its facial recognition technology entirely, delete the facial data on over 1 billion users. Significant privacy concession.
Wow, delete the data too.
Yeah. Although, Meta later signaled plans for developing more advanced biometric systems in future metaverse products. So maybe a nuanced approach to privacy and data as they venture into new tech, where digital identity avatars will be central.
But despite these strategic shifts, proactive policy changes, Meta faced new significant challenges, including a notable decline in its core platform's daily active users, something unprecedented in its 18-year history.
Absolutely. February 2022, Facebook saw its daily active users drop for the very first time, from 1.930 billion to 1.929 billion in the preceding quarter.
Doesn't sound like much, but first time ever, that's a big deal.
Huge signal. Indicated potential saturation, increased competition. The company also warned of slowing revenue growth due to a confluence of factors. Increased competition from TikTok, YouTube, those short-form video platforms.
Right, TikTok was exploding.
And a broader trend of advertisers cutting back spending amid economic uncertainty. Indicated that even a digital behemoth like Facebook wasn't immune to market shifts, competitive pressures, the evolving landscape of user attention.
The sources also detail a truly significant service outage. Powerfully highlighted just how dependent billions of people were on Meta's services for everything. Communication, commerce.
Oh, yeah. October 4th, 2021. Facebook experienced its worst outage since 2008. Global scope. Affected roughly 3 billion users across all Facebook properties, Instagram, WhatsApp, even Oculus VR.
3 billion users offline.
Offline. For hours. Disrupted not only external comms for users, but critically impacted internal communication systems used by Facebook employees. Severely hampered restoration efforts. Security experts quickly ID'd the core problem. A Border Gateway Protocol, or BGP, withdrawal of all IP routes to their self-hosted domain name servers.
Okay, BGP withdrawal. Break that down a bit.
Sure. Think of BGP as the Internet's traffic cop. It's the routing protocol telling all the different networks how to find each other globally. When Facebook's BGP routes were withdrawn, it was like they suddenly told the rest of the Internet, hey, we're not here anymore.
Pulled themselves off the map.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And because their internal systems, including their DNS servers, which translate website names like Facebook.com into numerical IP addresses, were also reliant on these internal routes, they effectively cut themselves off from the global Internet. And even internally, they couldn't even fix it easily because their own tools were down.
Wow, what a mess.
Huge mess. The outage had a major impact, especially on people in the developing world relying on Facebook's Free Basics program for vital communication, business, humanitarian work, underscored Meta's role as critical global infrastructure.
So it seems Meta isn't putting all its eggs in the metaverse basket, despite Zuckerberg's unwavering commitment. The sources indicate a significant recent pivot, a renewed, robust focus on another rapidly evolving tech frontier. Artificial intelligence.
That's correct. And it's a very smart strategic move, really, to diversify those long-term bets. February 2023, Meta announced creating a brand new, dedicated group focused explicitly on generative AI, led by former Apple exec Ahmed Al-Dali.
Okay, focusing on Gen AI.
Yeah. This group aims to rapidly develop and offer creative and expressive tools, including advanced AI-powered chat experiences in WhatsApp, Messenger. This move directly addresses those significant losses in metaverse development due to low immediate user engagement, signals a strategic rebalancing of resources towards more immediately impactful, trending, commercially viable tech. It's clear adaptation to market demands and the rapidly accelerating pace of AI innovation.
What are some concrete examples of this new AI focus? What have they actually rolled out?
They've been incredibly active. First introduced Llama, that's LLAMA, large language model Meta AI, February 2023. Followed by a more advanced version, Llama 2, September 2023. These models are designed to democratize access to large language models for AI researchers globally, foster open innovation.
Interesting, opening it up.
Yeah. September 2023, Facebook announced a suite of new AI experiences across its apps. AI stickers for more expressive communication, advanced image editing tools, introducing Meta AI as a conversational assistant.
Ah, like ChatGPT, but integrated.
Sort of. It's currently in beta on WhatsApp, Messenger, Instagram, also on their smart glasses, and Quest 3 VR headset shows deep integration. They also launched new Ray-Ban Meta smart glasses October 2023 with upgraded cameras, live streaming, integrated AI, plus tools like Emu Video, Emu Edit, showing advanced AI in video and image generation editing. It's a comprehensive, aggressive push into the AI landscape.
But even with these bold new focuses like AI, those long-standing issues around user safety, content moderation, they persist, right? Seems like these challenges are deeply ingrained in the nature of building these massive platforms.
Yes, absolutely. These foundational challenges don't just vanish with tech pivots, they often evolve or get amplified. November 2023, a former Meta employee, Arturo Bejar, testified before the U.S. Senate, alleged that Facebook execs, including Zuckerberg, had ignored crucial internal warnings about the harmful effects of Instagram on teens for years.
Ooh, that's damning.
Yeah. Highlights the ongoing, incredibly difficult challenge of balancing platform growth and innovation with user well-being, particularly for vulnerable populations. The critical importance of effective content moderation. It's an area that's consistently required adaptation, difficult decisions throughout Facebook's history. Reinforces that tech advancement doesn't automatically solve societal problems. Ethical considerations remain paramount. On a more collaborative note, though, the Tech Coalition, which includes Meta, launched Lantern in November 2023, a cross-platform program specifically designed to fight online child exploitation. Shows a collective industry effort to address these persistent, grave issues.
Right, so the problems continue, but there are efforts, at least claimed efforts, to address them. Lessons and takeaways for aspiring entrepreneurs. Okay, looking back at Zuckerberg's whole journey, Harvard dorm room to leading one of the world's most influential tech companies. What really stands out about his early career that aspiring entrepreneurs can learn from, beyond just the big headlines?
What becomes profoundly clear is his intense passion and exceptional ability in computer science weren't just theoretical. They were demonstrated through tangible, relentless action. He didn't just have ideas, he executed them, created real products, Face Smash, the Facebook.
Right, building part.
Exactly. This proactive engagement, going deep into an interest, challenging himself across disciplines like we talked about with classics, consistently producing something concrete that's a crucial lesson. It's not enough to be merely curious. You need to act on it, transform it into something real, iterate rapidly, be willing to put your creations out there, even if they're flawed initially. That initial, almost compulsive drive to build and ship is foundational to turning an idea into an empire.
And Mark Zuckerberg faced lawsuits from the very beginning. The Winklevoss twins, the IPO struggles and legal scrutiny, later major privacy scandals like Cambridge Analytica. How do these relentless, often existential struggles offer insights for someone just starting out?
These instances highlight the almost inevitable nature of criticism, legal challenges, public scrutiny, especially for disruptive innovators forging new paths in uncharted territory. The ability to persevere through early, debilitating legal battles, to withstand intense public outcry, navigate significant regulatory fines, while constantly adapting policies, like shutting down Beacon or implementing massive reforms after Cambridge Analytica. It's a profound testament to resilience.
You just have to keep going.
You do. It demonstrates that setbacks, even seemingly catastrophic ones threatening your venture's existence, are an intrinsic part of the entrepreneurial journey. Learning to strategically navigate these storms, respond with both legal smarts and policy adaptation is as important as building the product. It teaches us that tenacity in the face of adversity is a non-negotiable trait for long-term success.
Then there's the evolution, from a simple Harvard Facebook to a global social network, then rebranding as Meta, ambitious ventures into the metaverse, generative AI. The company has seen tremendous, often radical shifts. What can we really glean from this continuous evolution, this willingness to make such profound pivots?
This trajectory powerfully shows the importance of having a clear initial vision, yes, but also being incredibly adaptable, open to radical change. Zuckerberg's willingness to pivot the entire company makes significant, often risky acquisitions like Instagram and WhatsApp that seemed overpriced initially. Even rebrand the whole company to pursue new, unproven frontiers like the metaverse and then Gen AI. It reflects a long-term strategic mindset, coupled with an almost audacious appetite for risk. It also underscores the need for continuous innovation, taking calculated risks, even when facing substantial financial losses, to stay relevant, competitive in a rapidly changing tech landscape. Sticking rigidly to an initial idea can be fatal. Embracing change, anticipating future trends, seizing new opportunities is absolutely essential for sustained growth and survival.
And Facebook's meteoric growth brought incredible power, connecting billions, but also this immense, unforeseen responsibility, leading to serious societal implications. What does that aspect, particularly the controversies around content, teach us?
The controversies around privacy breaches, misinformation spread, hate speech amplification, its involvement in global events like Myanmar. They underscore that success at global scale comes with profound, often difficult societal implications extending far beyond initial intentions. Entrepreneurs must understand their creations, no matter how well-intentioned, can be both powerful tools for empowerment and connection and unintended or even actively exploited sources of harm.
Huge responsibility.
Immense. The lessons here are about the critical importance of embedding ethical considerations, ensuring transparency, building robust systems for content moderation, and user safety from the outset. Not just reactively addressing problems after they've caused widespread damage. The responsibility grows exponentially with scale. It must be proactively managed, integrated into the core design philosophy of any impactful platform.
The sources specifically mention the dangers of brand dissonance and the perils of ignoring customer feedback. How does this apply to Zuckerberg's journey? What crucial lessons can be drawn from Facebook's experiences here?
Well, the initial resistance to fully acknowledge and proactively address privacy issues, particularly seen so vividly in the Cambridge Analytica fallout, powerfully illustrates the profound cost of not being clear and candid with its users.
Right.
Brand dissonance, in this context, is that significant gap between what a company like Facebook publicly promises, like connecting the world safely, and what its customers actually experience, like data breaches, privacy violations. While challenging, often uncomfortable, actively seeking, listening to, genuinely responding to feedback, whether from users, privacy advocates, regulators, internal whistleblowers, is absolutely essential for identifying flaws, building long-term trust, continuously improving.
You have to listen even when it's hard.
Exactly. Ignoring difficult feedback or being perceived as evasive can lead to significant brand crises, erode public confidence, invite severe regulatory penalties, as Facebook experienced dramatically. It's a core component of long-term success and maintaining public trust in this era of rapid technological and social change.
Wow, what an incredible deep dive into the complex, often tumultuous world of Mark Zuckerberg. From his early days at Harvard, creating FaceMash, grappling with those legal battles, to spearheading Meta platforms and its ambitious ventures into the metaverse and now generative AI. His journey is just a testament to relentless innovation, strategic adaptation, and navigating immense, often unprecedented, pressure.
We've really seen how his initial vision to connect people evolved into this global empire, facing numerous legal battles, profound privacy scandals, and the monumental ongoing challenge of responsible platform governance. It's a story of both unprecedented entrepreneurial success and the enduring complexities of building and maintaining a digital behemoth that fundamentally shapes how billions interact, share, and experience the world.
So, what does this all mean for you, our curious listener? Well, Zuckerberg's story reminds us that entrepreneurial spirit thrives on relentless curiosity, audacious initiative, and the often painful but necessary willingness to face and, crucially, to learn from your biggest challenges and failures. The path from zero to hero, or maybe dorm room to digital titan, it's rarely straight. Often involves adapting your vision in profound ways while holding true to a core, driving desire to build something impactful.
It also leaves us with an incredibly important question to ponder, I think. As technology continues to evolve at this incredible, almost dizzying pace, and companies like Meta push into revolutionary new frontiers like AI, how do we ensure that the relentless drive for innovation always remains balanced with the profound responsibility to users, their safety, their privacy, and to society at large? How do we proactively build in ethics and safety rather than just reacting to crises after the damage is done?
A powerful and deeply relevant thought to take with you. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. If you've enjoyed uncovering these insights into Mark Zuckerberg's remarkable and often controversial journey, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss our next exploration into the minds and empires of other world-changing figures.